What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I have another bait review and kind of a review, kind of an unboxing. I've thrown this bait a little bit, but it's another topwater bait, and it's one that was around years ago. They quit making it, and now they've brought it back, and it's the Reaction Innovation Vixen. This is their topwater walking bait, and like I said, this is a bait. A lot of older guys that have been around it have known, hey, this bait was around back in the day, and a lot of people were mad, as I understand it, when it went away. But now, not sure why it went away, but now it's back, and I went and picked up two of them. Been throwing them around a little bit, and just getting that time of the year where they're starting to really eat a topwater. And I really love uh, everything about them, other than one thing, and I'll get to that here in just a little bit. But a little bit about the bait. Again, this is a Reaction Innovations Vixen. A lot of you guys know about Reaction Innovations. They're mainly soft plastics. They've actually got a frog, and now they have the topwater walking bait. So this is a 4 3/4 inches long, and it weighs 3/4 of an ounce, which I thought was really cool because you can bomb this bait. I mean, absolutely send this bait. Comes with three treble hooks, which is, I mean, awesome to me. Anytime you can get three sets of treble hooks on a topwater bait, do it. Absolutely. The more the better. It just gives those fish little, more hooks, the better hookup you've got. So it's got a split ring on the nose of it, which I am a huge fan of, and it's something I've actually started doing on my all of my walking baits. If they don't come with a split ring on the front, I've been putting one on there. To me, this allows, if you tie directly to that split ring on the nose of that bait, it lets that bait freely walk. You don't have to force it as much. Some people like to tie a loop knot to make that bait walk freely, but now with that split ring, you don't have to do that because you've got that free range of motion right there, and it just lets that bait walk just, I mean, tremendously. I mean, it doesn't take any effort at all to walk this bait. The split rings, same split rings on the hooks. Haven't had any problems with them. The other thing that I love that Reaction has done is they put this bait out there with good treble hooks on there. You don't have to change them out. I'm a big fan of a Super Spook or the Super Spook Junior, but you have to change the hooks out. They come with those bronze saltwater hooks that they're just no good. So I always have to buy treble hooks when I buy a new Super Spook. So hats off to Reaction Innovations for putting a good set of treble hooks right out of the package. So the one thing that you're probably not going to like about this bait is the price. It is a $24 $25 bait, and some of you guys may understand it. Hey, you get what you pay for. I understand. There's a lot of baits on the market now that are very high dollar. But I do agree that, hey, you kind of get what you pay for them with any of this stuff. Rods and reels, graphs, line, all of that stuff. You guys understand that, hey, if you want the best of the best, you're gonna have to be willing to pay the price for it. So I think, other than the price, Reaction Innovations has done a very good job on this bait. Their paint and color schemes are incredible. These are just two. I picked up a straight chrome. Always got to have a chrome top water, and then I believe this is called Lush. It's more of a transparent, ghosty color. It's got a chartreuse line going down the side and more of a like a glimmer blue back to it. Really just all around great color. And I mean, as much as I've thrown them, I've hit them on a couple trees here and there. I haven't broke anything. Little bit of hook wear on the side. I don't know if you can see that, but to me, you're always gonna get that with a treble, walking bait, because when you're walking that bait, these hooks are gonna come up on the side and rub that bait just a little bit. So it's kind of a give or take right there. You're kind of gonna, you get what you get when you're throwing a walking bait. But all in all, um, this is another just bait that for me, it's always going to be in the boat when they're eating the top water. The other thing is the sound with this bait. Extremely loud. Not a one knocker. Not a BB sound. It's kind of a mixture of everything in there, but incredible, loud tone to this bait. So this has got to be in my arsenal now when those fish are wanting just a little bit more sound. And walking this bait, what I've noticed is, like on a super spook, you can't really hit that bait as hard. That bait doesn't like to be really ripped hard or worked fast. And what I've seemed to notice with this bait is that you can work it extremely slow, or you can actually work this bait a little bit quicker. And I don't know if it's because of the weight of this bait, or maybe the keeled uh, nose on them. I'm not sure, but to me, it feels like I can work this bait just a little bit more aggressive than I can, say, a heading super spook. So I really like that option, because there are times that I like to slow down, but then there's also those days where I'm needing to work that bait a little bit quicker, to get those fish to react. Uh, this is not going to be my bait of choice on, super windy days. This is more of like a light chop on the water, a little bit of wind, or all the way to, straight calm. You can throw this bait straight, dead water. But don't think it's going to be your bait of choice if it's, like I said, if you've got, really, really strong winds and it's, waves are, a foot or higher. This is not going to be, probably, I say that, and there's going to be somebody comment and say that I've caught them in, 2 foot waves, and hey, that's great. It's probably not going to be my first choice in those conditions. But I have actually got some footage here of me going down to the pond right here by the house of throwing this bait, so you can kind of see the action of it on top of the water. You don't really pick up the sound just because of how I had to position the camera and all that good stuff, but hopefully you guys can hear that sound. I mean, you can't miss it. So take a look at this footage I got over at the pond, and we'll be right back. So I got the camera set up right here on the bank in this little pond over here by the house. What I'm gonna do is just cast it over there by the phone right there, and just let y'all see the action in the water of this bait. Um, like I said earlier, man, the Vixen is known for the sound that it makes, and y'all might not be able to pick up the exact sound that it's making just because of a little bit of wind and how far away I'm having to film, but you can kind of get an idea of the action of the bait. Um, what it seems to be, just throwing it out here a little bit, it seems like you can really kind of hit this bait pretty hard. I've got it on straight braid, and like a spook to me is a slower walking bait, and this Vixen seems like you can really get aggressive with it, and it's got a real nice side to side walk to it, and just, I mean, it's a really, really great looking action. It doesn't really cover a lot of water like when you do walk it, and that's a really good thing when you're trying to walk this bait around cover. It's almost like it's staying in place more, giving those fish a little bit more opportunity to eat it. So I'm really, really liking the way this bait is acting in the water. And I'm sorry if the wind is pitching up on camera. The wind's kind of blowing a pretty good bit right here where I'm at. But I just wanted to give y'all, you know, a little bit of on the water view of the Vixen. Give y'all a little bit better perspective if y'all are out here looking to purchase this bait. I'm really, really impressed with it. I'm very excited that they brought this bait back to market. It's been a while since you could actually get one of these baits. So that's it for on the water. We'll pick back up where we left off, and we'll end this video out. So like I said, guys, this bait is extremely easy to work. It walks tremendously well. Almost, you know, some of your topwater baits, when you go to walk them, want to travel, you know, a good distance towards you. And to me, a topwater bait, a walking bait, you don't want that bait to travel too far each time you walk it. You want that bait to almost walk, you know, with the end of that bait not even moving. You want that bait to just dart straight left, straight right, and this bait to me does a really good job of that. I was throwing this on straight braid. You know, most of the time I'm going to throw 40-pound braid on this, and what I like is in the past I've always thrown a mono leader, you know, to my 40-pound braid, usually like a 17 or 20-pound monofilament leader. And I did that because I got a little bit better action out of a walking bait, and that mono gave me a little bit of stretch when those fish would eat it. But now that this bait actually has that split ring on the front of it, I don't feel like I'm missing out on my action of this bait. So I can throw straight braid, and yes, I have to back the drag off my reel a little bit, you know, to let them fish pull a little bit so I don't rip these treble hooks out of their mouth. But straight braid, to me, is a little bit better on your you know, sensitivity. You know, you got a straight connection to that bait. So on those bomb casts, if you get a bite way out there, that braid will let you get a little bit better hook set than if you've got that mono leader. But like I said, either or works. That's completely up to you if you're a straight braid guy or if you like that mono leader. Not saying one's better than the other, but you can throw straight braid on this bait. So that's my review on the Reaction Innovation Vixen. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop a comment down below what your favorite topwater walking bait is, and I'll give it a look. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.